we are on to part 2 of our bang trim. So this one is going to focus on a nice full blunt bang. So you can see she's growing out. This will work for anybody who likes something right to their eyebrows or likes way shorter baby bangs. It's just for that very full look. So if you really like that full look, then this is gonna be your video. So we're gonna start again, just natural bang, just let those babies hang. We're gonna take a little bit of our water and we're gonna give her a spritz. Spritz that down. Nothing too crazy, but just a little bit wet. And then what we're gonna do, similar to our last video, is we're gonna go in and section out. This time we're gonna do it in thirds, but we're doing it straight across. So you can be a little bit more picky about this one than our last one. So you can see, whoop, we've taken one. I'm gonna do that one more time. Kind of hard to do with this angle. Boom, okay, that's not super straight. Well, let me clean her up for a minute for you. Let's see. And you can do this with your comb or your fingers. I mean, you know, you'll get the idea. We just want something that is straight across and is just going to end up giving you the feeling that that's the very bottom of the perimeter. So we'll put all of that stuff up. At this point, you don't have to pull a ton of hair back, just strictly because you can tell what's bang and what isn't. It's not going to get confusing inside of there. Definitely feel free to tuck, get that out of your face, but not as necessary. So we're going to start again with the perimeter. So we want that to be a little bit see-through where you can kind of see her eyebrow again. We're going to go in there. I'm going to turn her towards me. Maybe I should go back here and then have it. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in and put our line inside of there. So I want these to be kind of short, just for the fun of it. They're already, you know, a little bit long. So if this is her 2 weeks, then we're going to move her up like half an inch. So we're going to go in, we're going to put that design line in there. No lifting. We're just going to really go right in next to the skin there and just put that in there. So you can see when you take a cut, boom, it shoots it up and you're like, oh my gosh, that's shorter than I wanted. So make sure you're pretty liberal with this side of things. You're going in and you are not lifting a ton or you're going to end up feeling too short, which luckily short bangs are super in, so who even cares? So again, we're going through. I don't really want to push them. If they get pushed while you're cutting, that's not really a good sign. You have too much hair. So if that's starting to happen, you want to just go in and make sure you don't have quite as much hair inside of there. So we're going to go straight on through. Let me turn her. Let's see. Okay. Boom. So you can kind of see where that guideline's going to be at. It's strong. It's inside of there. It's right to where we want it. If we have little areas like that kind of come down, just come on over. And you're going to go ahead and cut that off. But again, you're not putting fingers inside of there. You're just letting this hang. So that feels pretty good to me. It looks a little schoolgirly, but you know, that's okay. We're going to turn this into a really sophisticated bang trim. So now we're going to go ahead and drop our next bit down. Remember, we split it into thirds, so just let another one of those thirds come down. What's nice with this, we're going to get this wet a little bit, is you can absolutely see your guideline because of how short we went. So we're going to push those down, give them a comb, and now you can see underneath where those bangs actually are. So now again, you're just following those bangs. We're not doing a lot of lifting or manipulating at all, and it's a small enough section that you can see right through those bangs. So boom, bang, boom, cut those babies on through. We might end up a little bit longer on this side just from the angle that I'm in, but she looks pretty good for now. She looks happy. So last bit is we're going to let a lot of this fall naturally. You know, you don't want to take your part too far back, and it depends on where, if you've got a lot of like face framing layers or some layers just to add some texture. You know, we're not pulling hair all the way from back here up into your bang. So just try and keep it just the bang. So at this point, there shouldn't be a ton that have fallen down because of how we've separated it. You can see one side doesn't have quite as much. That's because we did more of that side bang for our last haircut. So again, I'm going to do just a tiny bit of spritzing, not a ton. Just that little bit. Comb that down. So this is, if you wanted to have some weird pieces or some kind of like crazy texture going on and not have it super perfect, this is the layer that you play with. This is the layer you can grab this long hair that's just hanging down, give it a tiny bit of a lift out, just slightly out, and go ahead and cut right down on that. Leaving a couple of pieces long will actually create a lot of really fun texture throughout this front so it doesn't look too perfect. If you're somebody that likes perfect, then you are going to go in and you're going to cut those little bits right off of there. So you can see how it looks when it's nice and clean, where we'll go on this side where we leave a little, we're just going to grab some pieces and kind of lift. We're not lifting a ton out, we're just pinching with our hands. That creates a lot of texture at that bottom, where this side is pretty nice and even. So it just kind of depends on the look you're going for. So we can grab that. You know, she told me she wants to see her eyebrows, so we're gonna give it a little bit more of a lift. It's not quite as short as I want it to be. And so at this point, what you would do is if you wanted to redo this where you can actually see a little bit of the eyebrow, you're gonna repin back. You don't wanna just start with a big piece of hair again. So we're gonna go in, cut it in half this time, maybe instead of thirds, and go in and add that line again where you want it. And this time maybe lift it just a little bit more, depending on where you want it. Crazy messy bangs are super in right now and just give off a really good look. So I don't like to be too perfect with them, you know? I think it just kind of depends on your own personality. So now we put that other half down and you can see there's just a little bit hanging down. This is where I'm gonna get a little creative. We're gonna go in and we're gonna grab these pieces that are just feeling a little long right there. And instead of giving them a perfect cut, we're gonna just give them a spin and a cut. Spin it and cut it. And these are only for the pieces that are hanging over where you've already put that perimeter. And then we can start adding that like fun texture that can be put inside of there. This piece looks just a little long. So this is where you don't have to get too perfect with your angles or lifting. We're just putting in that heavy bang. The product that I love to use in bang when it's wet is I like to use a little bit of the Undressed, again, from Hair Story. So we'll just sprinkle a little bit of that in there. And then once all of this hair is dry, you can start to see how much texture that adds to everything. I mean, that's adding all kinds of texture to that bang. And then at the very end, what I like to end with, at the end of the service, once bangs are dry, is a little bit of the Do-Over from Kevin Murphy. I love this stuff. The smell is amazing. And basically you can just get in there and create a lot of body. So that way if you want a little bit of lift, that's going to give you a little bit of lift. And it works as a dry shampoo. So there is our fun, kind of chunky but cutie, heavy front bang. All right, we'll see you for the next video.